So Joyce stops Bermane Stiverne in the 6th round. This fight was kind of as I expected. It went on a little bit longer than I expected. But this was essentially, apart from the first round, Joyce versus a human heavy bag. Bermane Stiverne came out in the first round, and to his credit, he landed a couple of counter punches and landed them on Joyce. Joyce just laughed. Joyce, we know already, he's always shown to have a very good chin. Bermane Stiverne can punch a bit, but Joyce just laughed the shots off and went to work on him. Joyce is very slow. He's a 6'5", 6'6", 265-pound man. Not an ounce of fat on him. He's not quick, but Joyce is athletic. He has a great work rate. He was throwing non-stop punches in this fight. I think he was trying to pace himself more than he probably should have. But I was watching a Showtime version of this. I have the ITV version, but I just prefer the Showtime commentary. Showtime were saying that, Joyce wanted to go a couple of rounds, go 5 or 6 rounds in this fight. So I think Joyce had at the back of his mind just to get a bit of ring time in there and, just prolong it and just to see what he can do. Bermane Stiverne didn't make it very hard at all. He had zero head movement, barely threw any punches. He was looking for counters after the first round, but they were just so wild and so easy to telegraph. Someone even as slow as Joyce could see them coming a mile away. And, Joyce just basically had a field day with him. So, it's the fight I expected. I did expect an easy time for Joyce, especially seeing Stiverne's weight of 273 pounds. That was, insanity that he was weighing that heavy. So, it was the fight I expected to see, essentially. So where does Joyce go from here? He now has a version of the WBA, just a little trick of title. So I think that, a Manuel Char fight down the line, because apparently Manuel Char, despite failing the drugs test, is still the WBA regular heavyweight champion. The Fresnekendo fight, thank God, is apparently off the table. So I quite like to see Joyce versus Manuel Char. I think Joyce will win that fight personally. And Joyce is actually just giving an interview now to ITV. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear that, but he's just kind of reiterating the fight. I'm recording this straight after the fight. So Joyce won. The fight I expected. I kind of thought it would be a bit earlier, but it was what it was. The end came when Joyce just opened up a barrage on Stiverne. He wasn't punching back. His face seemed a bit swollen, and the referee, Howard Foster, quite rightly jumped in and stopped it. Stiverne was also down in the 3rd round from a good little counter right hand. Joyce again showing his punching power, showing his heavy-handedness, because when Wilder dropped Stiverne, it was a real explosive thudding shot. But whereas Joyce done it, it was kind of just a more cuffing shot. But Joyce is very heavy-handed, so his shots, they seem fairly innocuous, but people stay sleeping when they go down, when they get hit by Joyce. So good fight all round, and be interesting to see where Joyce goes from here. I think he should fight Manuel Char, because I think he'd win that fight, and Joyce is going to be 34 this year, so he kind of does need to get a move on. So I think I'd give him a very good shot against Manuel Char, definitely, considering Manuel Char hasn't fought since 2017, since he won the title. So I think that would be a logical next step for Joyce, and those are my thoughts on this. Anyway, leave your thoughts down below. We have Eubank Jr. versus James DeGale next. So, looking forward to that fight. And I will talk to you after that fight is finished. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like. And as always, I will talk to you after.